Today, we are returning to the Ghost to go explore in the snow and do a trail that we've been meaning to hit for a long time. While it's freezing cold, the snow made the trail much easier than expected, turning our exploration into a peaceful drive through the frozen forest. Join us as we slow down and relax on this winter trail run.
What is up and welcome back everyone. We're back out here at Ghost. We're actually at a trail we tried to do about 6 months ago at this point when we took, actually probably longer than 6 months, when we took my stock Forester. We got about 50 meters and we actually had to go ahead and turn around because I didn't want to submerge my car in a puddle. But we're here with my Forester as per usual, and we're also here with Austin, the other half of Flat 4. If you guys don't know, you should probably watch the video up here, but Austin's got a pretty sweet rig. I don't know how many cars they've seen you but this is what he's driving today. And what is it, Austin, and what do you have on it?
So this is a 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee. We put our Ironman 4x4 lift on it, and it also has Rubicon Express sway bar disconnects, 33-inch tires off the Gladiator that we have, and wheel spacers so it doesn't rub on the shocks. Thing that these do.
Yeah, so it's a lot meatier than my Forester. We're gonna do it in my Forester this time. Finally able to get my Forester out here. As you can tell, it's a little cold, it's a little windy, but we're gonna go have some fun and see what we can find. So see you guys on the trail. So I've drove down here quite a bit actually. The first time I came out here when we were camping back in the winter, we were actually drove down here to see if I could go camp here because I had no experience with this area. But we also came here, as I said, in the summer. Still weren't able to drive it because, well, I didn't want to put my Subaru in the drink. And then this time, we're prepared, at least we hope so. We've heard the conditions are pretty good. Someone broke a diff very recently here, but they were probably going a lot harder than us and the good old Subi. So we're gonna hit the trail. We're just gonna cruise along here for a little bit, and then I'll catch up to you once we find something interesting or we find something a little more difficult. Because right now, as you see, is just trails in this beautiful winter wonderland.
As we continue to move forwards on the trail, we move deeper and deeper into the frozen forest. What was once a vibrant forest is now nothing more than layers of ice and snow. And for good reason too. It was cold, -18 to be exact. And for that reason, we were alone on this trail. Not only would we not see anyone on this leg of the journey, but we would only see one other vehicle all day. Thankfully, because of these freezing temperatures, the snow was still crunchy and provided lots of traction for my aired-down tires. So, we continued to push forwards through the cold.
The interesting thing about this trail is that it will actually take us to where we've been 3 or 4 times maybe. It's where we ended up going at the end of the trail run where we couldn't make Lost Knife. We did the switchbacks over on the other side, and that's actually where we're gonna end up today. Same place where we did the cross-trek versus Subaru Forester, Adrian's cross-trek versus my car. Same place we'll end up there. We're just kind of taking like around the mountain instead of going up and over the mountain, which is kind of nice. And as you can see, it's really peaceful. It's really nice and snowy, and we haven't seen anyone on the trail yet. So if we get to anything difficult, definitely will let you guys know, but I don't think we're gonna get to anything too difficult, especially like this Forester, as you guys know, it's been through some stuff. So this is more of like a chilled run. We don't want to go break anything in -18 because that wouldn't be fun, but still there's some snowy sections to get through, just like that one, that we want to make sure we get through without getting stuck.
As we met up with our past trails, we kept on clawing through the snow. Now on the wider portion of the trail, the snow seemingly smoothed out the ruts and divots that we are usually met with when it was a lot warmer. Although there was one portion of the trail that the snow wasn't going to help with: the hill climb. Thankfully, for me and the Forester, there was a bypass. But for Austin, this was a welcomed challenge, so he lined up and hit it. Although, with the ice on the trail, it wasn't that easy. So, he readjusted and gave it another go with a little bit more speed and power. And well, it was only a couple feet short, but still short. So, up the bypass he went.
If you notice, some of this terrain out here is looking oddly familiar. And that's because, as I said, we've done this trail not once, but twice, actually maybe even 3 times. Yeah, maybe 3 times we've done this section and where we're gonna end up in this meadows. This is where we did the, as I said, the Forester versus Crosstrek and the switchback. But I did want to just go check out Lost Knife and do that adventure because, well, I've heard lots about Lost Knife. Everyone talks about it, but I didn't know what they were talking about. So it's nice to actually see what it looks like when compared to some of the other trails we've done. And honestly, I could have done that if that puddle wasn't there in the summer and we did the switchbacks. I almost think the switchbacks is a little bit of a harder trail than what we just did, Lost Knife, because it felt like the switchbacks had like much more technical, like rocky loose dirt. Where here, you're pretty much flat. Some places it probably is muddy, but I mean, honestly, mud isn't as bad as long as it's not like bogging you down super crazy. It's not as bad as actually going ahead and trying to climb up some dirt and gravel like Adrian's Crosstrek tried in the comparison. But as you see now, we're pretty much in the meadows, so we're gonna go, I think, that way. I don't know. Austin knows his way around here much better than I do, so I am just following him. Austin tried to make it up that hill. It's actually a cut line that shows up on our map, but it seems pretty new, but it is straight ice. As you guys saw down at that hill a little bit further, it's just like pure ice. It's minus 18 right now, and it's been like minus 30 for the last week. And then get a little bit of sun, it just becomes this nice crisp layer of water that eventually freezes over and then makes it impossible. Like, we could push up there and then we would have to turn around and slide back down the hill, which neither of us are too interested in putting our cars into trees. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. So what we're gonna do is turn around and head that way back to where we came from and kind of cruise along back through the trees and back to the road.
And now, turned back around, we made our way back on the trail that we came from. Through the open meadows and back into the frosty forest, we were quickly losing light. Up here, our days were short. After a peaceful drive in the snow, we eventually made it back to the trailhead.
Well, now we're just heading back right now, just cruising along the trail. We didn't know, like, as you guys probably saw there, we didn't know if we were gonna make it up the hill. We didn't know if we're going this way, that way. So, and this was kind of just an exploration. Obviously, we knew we were doing Lost Knife. We didn't know how far we would make it, didn't know conditions. And that's kind of a thing that happens when you're winter driving, is just, you don't know what's gonna be on the other side. And that's why I always, especially during winter camping and stuff, it's nice to be prepared because you never really know what you're going to come up against. Thankfully today it wasn't a lot of like super deep powdery snow that we got stuck in or anything along that nature. It was more just like everything just coated in ice. The trail right now is pretty nice, but anywhere where it's like south facing, it gets sun and then freezes and becomes a very slippery skating rink, which our cars cannot drive on. I guess if you had a studded set of winter wheeling tires, that'd be kind of cool and you'd maybe make it. But neither of us do, so there was no point in trying to get up that hill just to slide all the way back down. But that is pretty much it for the adventurous part. So as I said, we're just gonna make our way back, cruise along this trail, and kind of enjoy the ride before we get back to the main road out of Ghost. Well, there we go. We made it off of Lost Knife and we're back airing up and ready to hit the road. So that was a lot of fun. As I said, super chill trail. It was nice because look at these trees around here. It's like super frosty. So it's kind of just a nice little exploration. Now I can say I've checked off Lost Knife. Probably won't do it again for a while, but it was a cool experience just to go ahead and check it out. Forester, as always, did amazing. Had no problems, like even as you guys saw in some of that deeper snow, it just kind of chugged along and made it. And then the Jeep, Austin's Jeep, just like absolutely crushed it because, well, it's a Jeep. Anyways, that is going to be it for today's episode, but be sure to tag along because, as you guys know, we have plenty more adventures coming up. But as always, peace out and stay humble.